22nd, 2024. Mental health is real. Seek help, end the stigma. On the news this afternoon. CSO lawyer demand action against illegal task force in Rivers State. Court orders status quo ahead Rivers APC Congress. Electricity Commission orders Discos to downgrade Band A customers over unmet promises. And on the foreign scene, Russia defies sanctions, supplies oil to North Korea. I'm Ifichu Kumoilu with the news. Now, the chairman of River State Civil Society Organization, RIVSCO, Enefa George Will, says they have received many complaints from motorists over the activities of people who claimed to be members of the task force. Mr. George Will then missed today's report of assault and extortions by suspected members of the task force. Now, speaking with correspondent, Mr. George Will said some of the task force are suspected to be controlled by the local government officials and powerful individuals in the community. He urged victims to report their cases through RIVSCO's social media platforms.
Several complaints from motorists and citizens about the activities of the task force. Some of them are seen to be attached to the newly created local government channel. Some are a group of persons who are controlled by very powerful and are trying to address this issue. Before this leads to the death of motorists, the way this so-called task force operates is life-threatening, and of course, it's becoming a nuisance to the state. We want to say that for the victims and to see out to the civil society organizations through our official Facebook pages, the government should immediately step in to stop this illegality before it leads down to breakdown of law and bloodshed.
Similarly, a human rights lawyer, Haya King, says victims of task force harassment should report such incidents to their local government chairman and pursue legal action against the offenders. Speaking with our correspondent, Mr. King advised victims to gather evidence to support their cases. He also appealed to the public to assist victims in documenting incidents.
You can go to court to sue them. Of course, you can go to report to the chairman, whether it be Abo, Ikwere, Port Harcourt, Igbo, whatever local government, you go and make sure these men are from there. That is why I advocate videoing. That's why you have camera, Android phones all over to make sure you resist them. You can lock up your car, wind up your car, video them from inside your car, be videoing them and send it out immediately. First people, when you see people harassing somebody in a car, bring out your camera, begin to video them.
Mr. King further called on the state governor to intervene by establishing a counter task force to address the issue and curb the activities of those tarnishing the government's image.
I am calling on the governor and I'm calling on the local government chairman to call these people to order to go out and fish out these people that are spoiling your name. You go out and stop them. So I'm calling on the local government chairman of Port Harcourt, Obiakpo, Ipere, Oyibo, Eleme, Kai. Call them. Set up anti-tax force and go to the street and find out these people that are using the name of government to steal.
Meanwhile, a Port Harcourt resident, Stanley, has shared a troubling experience involving the theft of a car by men posing as task force officials. The incident happened on November 20th near the Eliusu flyover. His wife, driving the car, stopped to take a phone call. 6 men in blue T-shirts approached, claiming she hadn't parked properly. Now, they seized her car key through the open window, and while pretending to negotiate, one of them drove off with the vehicle. The others fled in a keke, asking her to meet them at Waterlines for settlement. Now, efforts to recover the car have been unsuccessful, and the victim's family is asking for public help. Now, yesterday, along the Obirikwele flyover, a Port Harcourt-based businessman, Martins Chike, said he was harassed, extorted, and his phone forcefully taken by people suspected to be members of the River State Task Force. Mr. Chike said one of his colleagues, John Michael, was also beaten and injured by the task force officials when he attempted to recover his items.
They were trying for me at the driver's seat. They said they are working with the state government. They now said I offended the traffic. Before you know, they started dragging me. In that process, they collected money from me forcefully. Even my phone, they had to take it away. So when I now went back, I told some of my union members. We now started trailing them. We finally met them on top of Brikore flyover. So they started calling people from that bush. So when they now came, they started pouncing on us. Some of our members were injured. The local government chairman should do something about this. It's becoming unbecoming.
His Excellency, a humble governor who is out for the people, to be aware that a lot of things happen at Mosi and along this East-West road.
Also yesterday, another resident of Port Harcourt narrated a similar deal, accusing men suspected to be members of the River State Task Force of harassing and beating him. The victim, who prefers to be anonymous, told a correspondent that he was beaten at the Shell RA bus stop. He said they accused him of not using his hazard light, dragged him into his car and took him to Oyibo, where they assaulted and extorted him.
Immediately I parked, these guys, they pulled over on a shuttle bus. They said I did not put my hazard light. So they dragged me, they collected my car key, they forcefully threw me inside my own car. They took me down to Obibo. They collected my phone, they were ransacking my bank. After I should pay 120,000 or less, they would take me to their office. I told them, okay, yeah, fine. Take me to the office. They started beating me inside the car. They paid the 1,500. They won sitting by me, the money there. So I saw I had the amount of money. They would have kept me and be withdrawing it. So I want to draw the attention of the state governor to disband these guys. These guys are doing illegal job, and there should be a task force to lay ambush for them. Right now, I'm at the clinic trying to examine myself from the beating. Please, I want the state government to checkmate these guys. It's becoming a menace.
Now, there have been several complaints about the activities of these illegal task force in River State. The police and state government have remained silent on this. In a similar development, a businessman from Rumuosi, George Ihunda, has expressed concern over the rising crime rate in the area. He said some of the crimes are being carried out in uncompleted buildings, which have become hideout for the criminals. He called on the River State government to take immediate action to address the issue before it escalates.
What these people are complaining now is the truth. I'm from Rumuosi community. Very, very bad in this Brikore flyover. People are robbing there. So houses there. Uncompleted people. So criminals are living inside there. Every day we'll be saying about the people. Some people are telling us, you say Rumuosi community boys are doing it. But you went to the place, you will see the different tribes. They will come to Brikore flyover and have rob people up and down. I said in the name of, they're working for government, they're working for government. Yes, we know people are working with government. They have their own uniform. They're going with the police. We know them very well. But this particular type of cocaine boss, to spoil the image of River State, look at their body, blood everywhere. If you tell me that it's the government is or police or what, I'm begging government, River State government, come and help us. And the truth will not be flyover.
Away from that, the High Court of River State, sitting in Port Harcourt, has ordered the All Progressives Congress (APC) in River State to maintain status quo ahead of the local government congress by the Tony Okocha-led APC in River State tomorrow. Now, this is after 3 aggrieved party members dragged the party to court, alleging that the party denied them nomination forms they paid for to contest positions in the local government and ward congresses. Recall that the Tony Okocha-led APC announced plans to hold the local government and the state congresses on 23rd and 30th November 2024 after successfully holding the Ward Congress last Saturday. The 3 agreed party members, Oku Joe Brown Ndige, Peace Ogano, and Samuel Uchebule, filed a motion seeking to stop the APC's INEC laws over state electoral bodies without INEC laws over state electoral bodies without any form of constitutional amendment. He said the judgment has justified the party's stand against the truth. Now, on Thursday, the Court of Appeal Abuja nullified the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which barred INEC from releasing the voters' register to the River State Independent Electoral Commission for the conduct of the state local government polls, which has now been conducted. Delivering judgment, the special panel, led by Justice Onyekachi Otisi, held that the lower court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the matter, as Section 28 of the Electoral Act does not cover elections conducted by state, only federal elections, governorship, and area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory. The appellate court also held that the lower court was wrong to have ordered security agencies not to carry out their constitutional duties. Justice Peter Alifu of the Federal High Court had delivered judgment in a suit criticizing RISIAC for setting October 5th as the election date without adhering to the relevant laws governing the conduct of the election. Away from that, research analyst at Budget Foundation, Ibukonoluwa James, says they arrived at the data in which Rivers State ranked first in terms of fiscal performance for the year 2024 through working with state financial statements generated from the Debt Management Office. Mrs. James, who spoke with our correspondent, detailed the methodology used to achieve these results, highlighting key indicators such as the state's ability to cover expenses solely through internally generated revenue without reliance on FAC allocations, among others.
Index A looks at the ability of the states to meet their operating expenses, e.g., salaries, overhead, pensions, wages, with only their internally generated revenue. The Index B now looks at the percentage of the year-on-year growth of the internally generated revenue. That is, how has the state's grown its internally generated revenue by so by XYZ percent from 2022 to 2023.
Now, she also spoke on how the findings from the report could serve as a valuable guide for River State in improving fiscal management.
It would be good if the state can pick up the document and come up with strategies that will allow them implement the recommendations where necessary. And as much as the state is going through a period of fiscal uncertainty, I'd say that the state can also look within and look for ways to generate more revenue, look for ways to cut cost of governance when necessary. The frivolity should be reduced.
Now recall that a report by Budget obtained by our correspondent on their website indicates that Rivers State ranked as a top-performing state in Nigeria. The 2024 state of The report, as seen on Budget's website, showed that Rivers State secured the top position in overall fiscal performance, outperforming other states on two critical indices, namely Index A and Index B. Still to come, Electricity Commission orders DISCOs to downgrade Band A customers over unmet promises. Stay with us. That the direct loading of premium motor spirits (PMS) by members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) from the Dangote refinery is beginning to show positive results. Mr. Maiga told Orisio Barrett that the price of fuel is gradually reducing across the nation's stations.
The independent marketers are taken through Dangote. So to observe everywhere now, you will see some reductions. Price is not stopped, it's not in one distance, but the only thing there is a reduction. You can check that we can buy product direct through him instead of buying through the third party. Bring the reduction of price now nationwide. The business now, since now the sector is being deregularized, now the government is not losing any money for subsidy. We buy in Naira. Depends on the place where you are selling it.
Also, the chairman of IPMAN in Rivers State, Tekene Aki, explained the efforts the union is putting to ensure the product is available.
Business is setting out the ethics around the business. Right now, everything, I think there's normalcy in the system. That's why you see that there's no scarcity. The influx of product from Dangote's refinery into town, even we as a people, all arrangements is set up here for us to bring in more volumes. It's in bulk volumes. At the moment, they are bringing it almost at 100%. Reduce the price also.
Recall that 2 weeks ago, the IPMAN leadership had an agreement with the Dangote refinery to directly lift and distribute refined products, including premium motor spirit, automotive gas oil, and dual-purpose kerosene. And now, a survey by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says lack of money has led to the ability of people to provide healthy and nutritional meals. The survey revealed that 63.8% of households ate only a few kinds of food due to lack of money, 62.4% not having enough food to eat, and 60.5% ate less than they thought they should. Now, the survey also showed that households in the country experience 6.7 power blackouts every week. In business, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission has ordered electricity distribution companies to immediately downgrade customers in the Band A categories if DISCOs cannot meet their promises. In entertainment, American singer Neil has embraced polyamory, and now this is the practice of having consensual multiple romantic relationships. In sports, Premier League clubs have voted to approve changes to rule governing commercial vehicles.
And now we're bringing
Now, the international scene shows that estimated to have supplied with more than 1 million barrels since March this year. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy said the oil is for the truth. Pyongyang has sent Moscow to fuel its war in Ukraine. These transfers violate UN sanctions, which ban countries from selling oil to North Korea except in small quantities.
This is the news on 92.3.
On the afternoon, you heard CS lawyers are demanding action against illegal task force in real estate. On the foreign scene, Russia's defied sanctions supplied oil to North Korea. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To read the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.